I'm Sabrina Short, the founder and CEO of NOLA Vape Black, New Orleans Black Tech Collective. Our mission, to build a diverse and inclusive tech talent pipeline. I'm born and raised right here in New Orleans. I went to school here and my entire family is here. I lived away for a while, but after Katrina, I believed it was important for me to come back home and make a difference. And so I came back as a community organizer. I fought for the right to return, and now I'm fighting for sustainability in our city, not just the right to return or to recover, but where are we going to be 20 years, 40 years, 100 years from now? And I believe 100% that building a talent pipeline for the technology sector is the way of the future. What do? I connect people and I bring them together. And I believe that NOLA Vape Black is the hub of where everyone can come together, support one another, and build collective capacity. I'm not in STEM, but I am an advocate. I believe that everyone needs a support system. Everyone needs someone rooting for them, cheering for them, giving them a pathway to success. I had that growing up, and I was very fortunate to have people who invested in me. And I believe that through my organization that we can connect people to invest and support one another. Tech is not just about coding or building websites or being the next inventor. It's all of the people within the ecosystem that make those things happen. Salespeople, customer service, project managers, finance folks, account managers, designers, all of those people, marketers, make tech happen. And so I don't want you to get discouraged about not being maybe the best at math and science, because I'm not good at math and science. I'm a creative. And so I believe that in tech, just like there's a space for math and science, there's a space for everyone in between. My encouragement to you is to keep pushing, keep striving. Listen to your own personal call and your own personal purpose. Hear it, go for it, and find someone to connect you. If you want to learn more about NOLA Vape Black, visit us at nolavapeblack.com. Let us help you find your space in tech.
Hi, my name is Kelvin Gibson. I'm the IT program manager here at Delgado Community College. My pathway to IT started at IBM in different roles while living in Atlanta. Having a career in IT can position you for a high-paying job that's in demand currently. It also can keep you competitive when it comes to positioning yourself for a long-lasting career. We know that innovation is always changing. One way to meet that demand of those changes is having a career in IT. Here at Delgado Community College, we offer affordable, industry-based certification training courses that you can apply for and sign up for now. What are you waiting on? To do that is go to www.dcc.edu/go/IT. Again, that's www.dcc.edu/go/IT. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Kevin Fitzwilliam, and I work with the Energy Smart program, which is the energy efficiency program through Entergy New Orleans. I'm from New Orleans, and my background leading up to this job is that I went to Loyola, went to LSU, had environmental majors at both, so like an environmental planning and management degree from LSU, a master's degree, and started working in urban planning, and also was a teacher for 6 years, mostly teaching environmental science, and then started working about 7 years ago in solar energy. And in solar energy, we were really doing a mix of renewable energy and energy efficiency, and that's how I got into understanding just the total concept about reducing energy with businesses and homes. And that led me to working for Energy Smart. I've been working for Energy Smart for about 2 years. And what I do for the program is I help all the contractors that work in energy efficiency, so lighting, air conditioning, building automation software systems, to all of the companies that reduce electricity for businesses. I help them to get used to how to pass down incentives, so financial incentives from this program to businesses. So basically they're getting rewarded for becoming more energy efficient, and I'm someone who helps in that process. And so I would say that From my perspective in working in renewable energy and energy efficiency, a key message to take home is that there are many opportunities to work in this field. And if you are interested in working in any of the areas under clean energy, renewable energy, energy efficiency, some of the future technology with batteries and so on, the real key is to get in your foot in the door in any of those areas, and then that opens up opportunities under the entire umbrella of clean energy jobs.
Hi, my name is Desiree H. Young. I am the Chief Entrepreneurial Officer for VentureWalk. What I do is work with small business owners to help them both pitch, talk about what they do, and promote, get people to buy from them and into them. But that is not where I started. I actually started out as a mechanical engineer. The truth is, I got into that field because my dad was a mechanic, and because he had all girls, I was the only one that kind of sort of took an interest in stuff like cars and building stuff and breaking stuff. I wound up getting a Bachelor of Science degree in mechanical engineering from Boston University. And if I could be really honest, I got to work in the area of engineering around shell and oil and chemicals, but I got bored after just a few months. And so I knew that it was really time to look at doing something different. What I enjoyed about that was working with people and working with machinery, but I didn't exactly like that I didn't get to be as creative as I wanted to be. So I went back to school and I got a master's in business administration from Southern Methodist University, as well as ESADE University, which is located in Barcelona, Spain. Getting to get my MBA allowed me to do what I'm doing right now, which is working with business owners. And the reason that I love working in STEM is because it really allows you to be creative. Even though I don't practice as an engineer anymore, I still get to use all of the information and all of the things that I learned as an engineer. I get to talk to business owners and think about their strategy and think about even marketing and all of the pieces where math, believe it or not, comes into play. The biggest thing that I believe is so important for all of us to understand and recognize is that it is okay to change. It's okay to do something, try it out, and if you're not exactly really excited, look at something different. It is absolutely okay. And one of the pieces, like I said, that I like to do is help people be themselves. And I brought a little friend along because I get to help business owners know what their specific way of being is, kind of like this dolphin. And what I want you to do is be able to do the same. So enjoy what you're doing, try different things, and just keep going after it.
Hello, my name is Staff Sergeant Carey. I'm from Dallas, Texas, currently living in the New Orleans area as an Army recruiter. I've been in the Army for 10 years. I worked the ranks from private second class to Staff Sergeant, and I've had an IT experience working as a signal support specialist. I want to use this platform to inform those that if you don't have any IT experience or background, then you can use the Army as a stepping stone. That's exactly what I did. When I joined, I didn't have any college degree nor IT experience. And when I did join, the Army gave me on-the-job training. If this is something that you're interested in and you want to be a part of the Army, then please call me at 504-296-8453.
Terrific, terrific. So we are in our very first What I Can Be video series, and I'm super excited that I'll be joined by some incredible panelists. You just heard from them, but welcome Calvin, welcome Sabrina, welcome Donovan, welcome Kevin. How are y'all doing?
Doing great.
Good.
Thanks, Desiree.
Yep.
Awesome. So I got lots of questions, guys, because you just mentioned about how to chart a pathway in STEM, and I caught up some unique stats that I wanted to discuss with you to really kind of get your thoughts, because I believe all of you, to me, really represent the ecosystem of building STEM careers and hopefully more pathways to STEM careers. What's interesting is that out of every 100 grads, only 13 of them actually go down this route of STEM education. Kelvin, maybe you can give us some thoughts around why you see that is and what as a community we can do to kind of get more of our folks in this.
Yeah, I think we need to do a better job of marketing the opportunities that are out there. And one of the things, a lot of people don't know that Delgado offers many industry-based certifications that they can go through, a 6-week program, 10-week program, get certified in IT, and have opportunity to get a nice paying job. We also have community partners out there. One of them, they actually have a virtual booth, and that's Generation. We partner with Generation, and we offer through Generation 2 free, and let me mention again, it's free certification courses. One is digital marketing analyst, and the other is IT support specialist. These are 10-week programs. Again, they're offered free through Delgado, sponsored by Generation. And you can go to our booth, you can go to their booth. But again, it's being focused and understand what opportunities are really out there and connecting to those opportunities to position yourself so that you can stay focused and get a job within IT if that's what you're looking for.
This is helpful. Thank you, Kelvin. And we love free, right?
Yeah.
So this is great to know. This is great to know. And you mentioned about opportunities, and I was curious. I know we've got Mr. Sergeant Peter here that's joining us from the Army. I'd love for you to talk to us about these opportunities, because so much of it is people understanding what STEM means and how they can get involved. Perhaps you can talk to us about the Army and how that can be an option.
Thanks, Desiree. That's a great intro. And I'm covering for Donovan. Had a car breakdown on the way to check in this morning, so forgive him for not being here to talk to you guys directly. The great part about the Army is you can start from a simple high school diploma or even a GED and jump right into an IT career. So in Donovan's case, he became a 25 uniform, which is basically an IT specialist, 36 weeks of training, full-time pay and benefits, and the Army set him up to live success by paying for up to 100 different IT certifications. And that's only one of 40 different specific IT jobs that are available day one, no experience, to get people started in the field.
That's incredible. That's incredible. And so what's so unique, and I loved watching all of your videos, both Kevin and Sabrina, you guys mentioned about being in unique spaces where you are opening even more doors for people to come in. Kevin, maybe you can talk a little bit about both your role there with Energy Smart, and also you mentioned having an environmental background.
Sure. So, the position that I'm in is kind of the center point for all the people who are actually working in STEM. So I'm one of those people that you might meet if you go into a STEM role. You might come across the people like me who help you to facilitate your job. And what I mean by that is that, let's say you are a mechanical engineer and you work with the convention center or hospitals and hotels to help them with all of those enormous pieces of equipment that we might see as we drive around the city, the boilers and the chillers and these cooling towers, these huge pieces of equipment that either are behind the scenes and we don't see them, or they might be up on a roof and you say, what are those things up there? Well, the mechanical engineers are working on those pieces of equipment, and what they're doing a lot of times, in addition to just replacing them, might be finding out how can we make those things run efficiently, lower the cost of the electric bills for our customers. And that's an entire career set. That's part of what mechanical engineers are doing. So that's one example. So that's part of what I do. I say, okay, hey, if you're going to be able to reduce the electric bills by a lot of money, this program through Entergy and these utility programs exist all over the country. These companies, all that are the end customers, the large buildings, are actually able to receive financial rewards for doing that. And so I'm part of the process that helps people to facilitate that funding. And my background is I came into this because I used to approach businesses myself, with proposals for switching out their lighting to LED lighting, so energy efficient lights. And also, I used to approach homeowners with proposals that suggesting that they switch over, or that they incorporate solar panels on the roof of their homes. So I have a lot of experience in sales, and that's another aspect of a lot of the folks who are in STEM. Maybe they got into it because they love the technology and they love the problem solving and the math and science aspect and that constant grind of figuring things out. But at the end of the day, a lot of times you're going to end up needing to speak with customers, whether they're in someone's home or whether they're in a business or a huge center, as I mentioned, universities and convention centers. And so that's a lot of what I do, is help that facilitation of how people are talking to the customers that they're in touch with about these different pieces of equipment that they may be installing or improving. And just briefly on academics, as I mentioned in there, I don't necessarily have a STEM major background. I'm more interdisciplinary, where I took a decent amount of science classes, but I'm what you would call a continual learner. So along the way, I've always sprinkled in a summer course here and an online class there, and that's a theme that I'll always drive home.
Terrific. I appreciate that, Kevin. So I'm going to cheat a little bit. I have a personal relationship with so many of you on the panel, but with Sabrina, I find it such a heartwarming way and us being able to talk. I remember when the Nolavate Black concept was just a concept. And when I tell you, in the last few years, it has blown up into an incredible partnership with the city. It's grown up into an incredible resource. Sabrina, talk to us about, again, this idea of being a part of the ecosystem that's getting more and more people into STEM jobs.
Thank you. Where do I start? I mean, my work is really about inclusion, right? And deeper than inclusion, it's about undoing institutional racism. So we can send our people of color through college programs, training programs, boot camps, certifications, but when they're not getting hired, right? So we can connect those pathways and educate our community about the opportunities that are out there. But if they're not getting in the door, it doesn't help, right? So my work is, how do we make the connections with our talents, our talented, knowledgeable, and experienced professionals of color with companies who value inclusion, who want to have a diverse and inclusive and culturally competent space, right? And so I bring them together. So, okay, this company, they want you, and I find the person of color and I put them together. And that's the work. That's what it's all about. I don't want people to feel discouraged because they're not getting hired. And I hear it over and over again. I've gone to school. I got 4 years. I'm in debt because I have all of these student loans. All I want is a job, right? And so I bring people together to have those conversations about, what does it take to make sure that these hiring processes are including everyone. And so I love what Kevin was saying earlier about being a lifelong learner. We have a lot of folks who are not trained in STEM, right? And did not go to school for STEM, but they're teaching themselves how to code. They're going on YouTube and learning how to build their own websites. They're watching, influencers around marketing and how to use social media. But that doesn't translate all the time to getting hired. And so our work is working with the companies to see those transferable skills. I may not have a degree. I may not have a certification, but I know what I'm doing. I know how to build. I have a portfolio. I have products that I've created and marketed. And I think that it's really about making sure that we're bringing people together, having the tough conversations, and actually taking action.
Excellent, excellent. This is so exciting, guys. What's interesting is that as many STEM tech jobs as we know have occurred, have come through, and are certainly on the horizon, what I've also heard is that 60% of US companies still struggle to get people into these roles. And what I started to recognize is that many times people aren't aware of all of the benefits, the bonuses, and all of the opportunities that are really in this arena. I'm interested in hearing more about what you know about this pathway and really some of the benefits. Sergeant Peter, talk to us about benefits perhaps in the Army route.
Thanks, Desiree. I guess I like the top three, right? Full-on healthcare coverage, vision and dental, no questions asked. You're just covered 100%. That's been a great benefit for my family, and especially for many young adults that don't realize how expensive it is to be insured. The second one is lifelong education, which I've heard some other panelists talk about. Every year you serve in the military, you get $4,000 a year to spend for college tuition and fees or professional certifications. So you could even come in the Army as a simple truck driver and be studying your tech field, and the Army's going to pay for that for you, which then leads into the GI Bill, which is used when you're out of the military to complete your degree, maybe move into the master's realm, and that can be valued up to $100,000, 2 buckets of money, tuition and fees, and a housing allowance. So a young person from New Orleans might need to go to college in Georgia or California, and that housing bucket of money goes up and down with where they want to go to school, so they're not forced just to go to that school that might not fit their need. And the third one is lifelong money in the VA home loan program. So it'll set you up to be able to buy a house as a very young adult with no money down. So often we hear people that are, coming into the military, they think they're behind their peers that went straight to a 4-year university, but at that same 25, 26-year-old level, they're making the same money, but my veteran brother is able to buy a home with no money down and start investing in their future and not have to pay for student loans. So that's a win for them. And they've gained leadership experience and constantly being told to push harder to be to the next level. So if you haven't heard from a military recruiter, I prefer the Army, it's where I live, but the benefits are very similar across the board, no matter what branch you choose to serve in.
Oh, this is helpful. Quite frankly, this is not the same military that I remember. And so there's so many benefits. And these are such great options for people to consider. Kelvin, talk to us a little bit more.
I wanted to add to that is that, you talked about benefits and all of that great stuff, but let's just talk about money. It's money. And, I tell people all the time, I'm sorry to interject, but, you can work at McDonald's or work in retail, right? And those same skills and talents and experience of managing people, managing time, managing products, you're managing money if you're a manager, right? All of those same skills that you would need to work in retail or in fast food are transferable to the tech space. And an easy role that maybe Kelvin can talk about is the Scrum Master. The same roles that you would need to be in retail or in fast food are transferable to being a Scrum Master in tech. What's a Scrum Master? A project manager. The same thing that you do in some of these other areas are transferable into the tech space, and you can triple your income, triple with a 2-day class and a certification and a test. You can triple your
income. This is incredible.
Well,
and that's, I'm glad you brought that up, Sabrina, because those are the pieces I feel like as a community we are not so familiar with. Kelvin, can you chime in a bit more on what those certifications mean? And on the other side of that, what they can mean as far as income and what a person can look forward to?
Right. And Sabrina, thanks for bringing that up. So, many of those certifications or those skills that you have are interchangeable throughout all industry, like Sabrina mentioned. So let's talk about Scrum Master. So Scrum Master is similar to project manager. So most companies now, be it IT or, banks, they're looking for certified Scrum Masters. And these are individuals, like Sabrina mentioned, where you're working with teams, you're working with employees. So you're looking of frameworks and ways to how to improve processes and bring people together and maximize the flow of whatever's going on. So, when you're talking about these positions, you're talking about someone, if you're working for someone, a company, and they're looking for someone who's certified, and you go through the Scrum Master 2-day course, it is 2 days. You take the test, you're certified, you can get a promotion right away. They're looking to advance people within their organization who have that certification training, because now they can utilize you because their inner culture of how things work. And so how to position yourself within that company to help them out. Also, coming out, most of the Scrum Masters, I know there's one IT company, I would say 80% of their employees are Scrum Masters. And they do that for a reason, and Scrum Masters make, from 90 to 100 to $120,000. So again, it's a 2-day course, and that's the beginning course. There's 3 other certifications that go along with that. But again, you can start out with just that. So and here at Delgado, we make it very affordable. That 2-day course is $500. I've seen that same course offered for $1,200, for $1,500. So you're talking about $500. And so, you think about the investment into your career and yourself, and potentially what that reward is if you, go through that process.
So if you're listening, get your STEMI money together.
Yeah. So
Absolutely. This
Career.
I love that, Sabrina. I love that as a plan, right?
Yeah.
So there's
So
the
again,
free, there's the free,
so
but
there's
there's
the
also
free.
those courses.
Yeah. So again, like Sabrina mentioned, get your stimulus money ready, because we do have courses coming up for $249. And so at Delgado, what we did, we made our courses. You talk about the benefits. Some of the benefits that we've done is make our courses affordable. Also, we worked out where we can do payment plans as well, because sometimes we know there's a challenge. But if you're investing in yourself with that stimulus check that you're going to get within the next few weeks, set aside, $500, and that's 2 courses that you can take at Delgado, or it's the one Scrum Master course, or better yet, again, like I mentioned earlier, we have a partnership with Generation where they're offering 2 courses, the digital marketing analyst and also the IT support specialist course. So again, we make it affordable. It's a huge benefit. So to me, there's no excuse. If it's a career that you're looking to get into, you can go borrow $250 if you don't have it. Or like I mentioned, we have the payment plan. You think about what a pair of tennis shoes costs or a nice purse, right? So invest in yourself and maybe set aside that purse or those pair of shoes for right now, and invest in yourself to get the rewards later on.
Absolutely. And all of these are offered virtually now, correct?
They're all virtual. Yes. And again, you can go to www.dcc.edu/go/IT. And again, we have a virtual booth there. Also, Generation has a virtual booth, but all the classes are virtual right now. So they are virtual, and the schedule's out. So we do have the schedules available, so you can know when you can schedule accordingly for whatever class.
Sweet. And so talk to us, both Sabrina and Kevin, talk to us about specific types of jobs. So much of this, again, is learning about what these options are, learning about the terminology, absolutely the benefits, but perhaps you can highlight some very specific roles that people can think about, look up, research, especially for those that have been impacted in this time and, quite frankly, are looking for new opportunities, looking for their next act. Talk to us about those things.
Want me to go first, or?
Sure.
So, I said in the video that I'm a creative, right? I tried to take a coding boot camp, failed, wasn't good at it. Was not good at it. So I was like, no. I am an advocate for the people who are creatives like me. I love to write. I love to draw. I love to design. I love colors, right? I love catchphrases and hashtags. That's my thing. And so for people who are creative like me, there are marketing jobs. We have a Unity Technology on our website right now that's hiring for marketing roles and event roles. So if you're good as an event planner, they're looking for folks who can coordinate events virtually. So there's a role for everyone. We have, I can tell you as well that we have Peter Meyer is one of the companies here in New Orleans that is hiring for creative roles like design, like marketing, like web development, right? The front end roles. So if you're not good at the coding, but you are good at the layout, there are roles at Peter Meyer as well. So those are just a few of the roles that fit for people like me who are not so good at math, who struggle a little bit in some of the STEM areas. But I definitely can design something really amazing and beautiful. But visit nolabaeblack.com to look at some of those jobs. We have over 100 jobs, not just for roles here in New Orleans, but remote roles from companies who are global organizations. So please check it out.
Incredible. And Kevin, I got to tell you, you gave me such a great flashback. You were talking about cooling towers, and I remembered the days as a mechanical engineer, scaling tanks, dealing with pumps. Talk to us a little bit about the other types of roles that you know are involved in your work. Oh, you've got to unmute, Kevin. We want to hear this.
Sorry, didn't realize. One of those moments, right?
Oh, good.
Yeah, now you're talking about those days that you hated and left, though, right? Those days. So
it wasn't sexy.
For the ones who stick with it, stick in it. No, everybody's got their path, as you guys are hearing on. I'll give you 5 actual job titles or careers that you can think of that are tangible. One is an energy auditor. So that's a role that I have had. So that's one where you're the person who approaches a building. Every building that we drive by in the city has someone who's inside of a large campus, right? Think of these large buildings. Well, they've got someone that you probably may have met at some point. You see somebody walking around with lots of sets of keys and fixing things. Those facility directors are in there, are the people who are in there actually keeping track of all of the energy uses of every single piece of equipment. Everything inside of those enormous buildings are under their control, and then they report to the owners of the building and so on. That's actually a career field right there, because facility directors, the people who manage the buildings, have become so much more technologically savvy. So I'll give you an example. Last year I went into the Hyatt on Loyola Avenue downtown, and I was blown away by going downstairs and looking into their basement, where I realized that the facility director office kind of looks something futuristic, like you might see out of a CIA office, where there were just screens everywhere, and there were people sitting and controlling pieces of equipment that were on multiple campuses, and the airflow is impacted by this. And we know that there are so many people in this room at this time of day because there's conventions in the mornings, but then the conventions leave and people migrate to this side of the building. The migration of people and the habits of the way that people operate in those buildings and move throughout the course of the day, it may sound futuristic, but all of those are controlled by sensors, and so there's technology that picks up on that. So the facility director is one type of job that's actually in control of all of these buildings, and they have to be very technologically savvy. And a lot of times they end up getting certifications like the certified energy manager or building operator certifications. And this is not just understanding how to turn on and off pieces of equipment. You're understanding how every piece of equipment inside of a building that relates to energy and keeping ourselves cool, or keeping the lights this way, and ambiance and everything, how it's all related. And it all relates to the experience. So the facility director, and I mentioned the energy auditor. So that's the person who approaches the facility director and says, have I got an idea for you? You know what? You see these lights that you have? Let me approach you with an idea. I think you guys should switch over to LED lights. Here's how much it would cost you for my team to come in and replace all of your lighting, the 1,000 lights of this type and the 200 of this and so on. Here's a proposal that says that it would cost you $100,000. But you know what? because of this program, this energy efficiency program, you can actually get some money back. And then within just 3 years or 2 years or 1.5 years, you're actually going to make up your amount of money back because we're going to reduce your electricity. So the energy auditor and the consultant, another word for that, they're the person who has to think, they have to get into the brain of the facility director. So they're the person who has to think, all right, what do I need to tell this person to understand what's causing them the most pain in their life? How can I address that? Is it the money? Is it how much time they're spending on maintenance? That is a career to itself. So those two people, those two careers interact with each other. And another two, the mechanical engineer, as I mentioned, those are the ones who are really behind the scenes, tinkering with the large pieces of equipment, addressing changes that need to be made to those, assessing the reports and the data that come from those large pieces of equipment, and then figuring out what do they need to do to change that and so on, and even replace pieces of equipment. Another career type would be in construction of buildings. You know, when we think of buildings that are constructed and we see large cranes, if you think about what goes on behind the scenes, when we think about our energy usage and our footprint, what we call our footprint, and how environmentally friendly the pieces of equipment, everything from the bricks to the soil to the windows to the fans and everything, how energy flows and is used in the building. Well, now developers who construct buildings are even more experts than they ever used to be in understanding that once this building is set, we want it to, for the next 50 years, we want the energy usage to be as low as it possibly can, because that impacts everybody. So those are a couple of examples. I will list one more, which is in solar energy specifically, because that is something that I did for several years, and that is understanding the technology that you're talking about. So about the solar panels, about the inverters. So about the pieces of equipment that are attached to those solar panels that get it ready to be used inside of the home. So I never had a background in that, in electrical engineering or anything like that, but you have an ability to train yourself, just like Sabrina was talking about, YouTube videos and so on, and training that your company provides you to get you up to speed. You don't need to be the expert, but as long as you learn the language of the field that the other folks on our team here have more experience in. As long as you learn that language, you'll be able to communicate about it.
Love that. And guys, I've got 30 seconds left.
Oh,
I
sorry.
love that Kevin talked about, no, it's all good. He talked about learning the language. Talk to us, give me about a 10-second snippet of the number one thing that you want folks to do as they chart their pathways into STEM. Mr. Barina?
So sorry. The number one thing, find your purpose. Do what you like. Don't try to go after what's hot and what everybody's pushing you to do. Find what you like, what you love, and then find the job that allows you to do what you love.
Terrific. And tell us that website again.
NOLAVATEBlack.com. NOLAVATE black.com.
Thank you, Sabrina. Mr. Peter.
I want to piggyback right on what Sabrina said. This is for educators out there. The military pays for a program to help you teach your students what skills they're already good at. It is called the ASVAB Career Explorer Program. It is 100% free, funded by the federal government, and they come in, they test your students, and they tell them how they're charting in 8 different career aspects. So if you're listening, please hit me up. I will connect you with the contacts. You can look me up on goarmy.com/New Orleans.
Terrific. Thank you, Peter. Mr. Kelvin, last but not least. Oh, unmute, man.
Sorry about that. Invest in yourself. Always continue to learn, by taking classes, listen to podcasts, but do wherever you can to continue to learn and invest in yourself.
Terrific. And give us that website for Delgado once again, Mr. Kelvin.
Sure. It is www.dcc.edu/go/IT.
Terrific. You guys have been incredible. Thank you for chatting with me and talking about how to chart pathways to success. Guys, stand by. We've got another incredible video series coming up and panelists to boot. Stick around and stay tuned.
Thank
See
you.
you all.
All right. Thank you.
Wow.